Should we call this episode Artists That Christmas?
Yeah. Hello and welcome to Artists That Work. This is our holiday episode. My name is Raph Heatherbridge.
And I'm George Alexander Thompson. It is great to be back with you.
Yeah, things have happened. We'll get to that in the news. But right now, we're going to make some eggnog.
We're going to make some eggnog!
Okay, so what do? I separate the eggs.
Well, this recipe is courtesy of Ali's, my partner's brother's recipe.
So Sasha's recipe.
Sasha's recipe.
Okay.
Yeah, for the best. He brought this round last Christmas for us to have, and it was legitimately the best thing I've ever had in my life.
Legitimately?
Legitimately.
That's a big word. Shall I start doing this?
Yeah, you've got to separate that. You know how to separate eggs, don't you?
I certainly do.
So we're going to separate. I should probably get out the recipe, shouldn't I?
Okay. Oh, there's already shell in there. Oh.
I think we just need to do 2 large eggs. I was going to double the recipe, but we can't get hammered. Oh, you're the best at separating eggs.
Am I really?
No.
It's all right because what you do.
We need to keep the yolks though, so
great because
put
they're
the shell
in there. Okay, I'm gonna separate the eggs. To separate the eggs, I just bang it on the side of the bowl and I keep the yolk in one side. Oh shit! And then put it over to the other side, and then put it over to the other side, and then put it over to the other side. Now I'm probably not gonna get the membrane off, and then I just put the yolk in there. And then I put the shells back in the box because people love those people.
Yeah, that's the best. Like a soggy egg box. There's nothing better.
How many egg whites
do I do?
Just 2,
so that's perfect.
Oh, just 2? Okay.
Yeah. We're just going to make a small amount because there's only 3 of us and we don't want to get hammered too early in the morning.
Okay. Now, top tip, if you get a bit of shell in your eggs, use the shell to get it out because that worked.
Yeah, that was pretty good. You just scooped it out
I'm not putting my
eggshell.
finger in there because my finger is repellent to shell. The shell's not repellent to shell.
I don't know if that's science, but it sounds right.
Yeah, I know these things.
Okay, so now I've got to measure out 25...
One sec, what have we got here? 2 bowls?
So yeah, in one bowl we've got 2 egg yolks, and in the other bowl we've got 2 egg whites. Now I'm going to measure out 25 grams. Well, it called for caster sugar, but then I found Billington's golden caster sugar, and I thought that would add a little bit of Christmassy je ne sais quoi. Okay, get this noise. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Okay, and then we have to put the sugar in the mixing bowl with the egg yolks.
I've got egg yolks here. There's a bit white in them though.
I think that's fine. It all goes in the same place. I should have done that in the smaller bowl. Okay. Too late now. Fanny Craddock would be ashamed of me. And then we're using Alex's antique hand whisk.
It was his granny's, which is really, really sweet.
It's really beautiful. I love these.
And if you want to make this for a vegan palate, I'd say Google that because I don't know how. I'd say it's something to do with flaxseed. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, do you want to try?
Yeah. Oh, how satisfying is this egg whisk? Do you think that people back in the olden days when your granny was around were much more satisfied because their kitchen utensils were mechanical? You didn't have to plug the fuckers in. You could see what was going on.
Well, the other thing is, can you imagine how scary it was when electricity came in? Everyone thought they were going to be on fire the whole time.
Well, they were. I think that's the horrible side effect of early electricity, George, was a lot of people were on fire a lot of the time. But ironically, before that, a lot of people were on fire all the time because of candles.
So next for the recipe, I'm getting, this was the most exciting rum I could find in Morrison's. I thought you'd really love this. It's called Dead Man's Fingers spiced rum.
That's not appealing at all.
No?
Well, like...
I thought that was cool and piratey.
I don't want to eat that.
DMF.
Oh, well, that's kind of cool. I like DMF rum. I'll have DMF rum, but Dead Man Fingers, anything consumable, I don't really want it. But yeah, let's get a sponsorship with them. Great name.
Oh, there we go. So we've got to whisk this in.
Okay. Go on, pour it.
You keep whisking and I'll just pour it in gradually, I think.
Okay. Have you got a recipe or are you just making it up?
Oh, no, we're using a recipe. We're even using an electric scale.
Stop, really?
Yeah.
Should we try and get sponsorship from them as well? See, I've not been working much lately, so if anyone wants to
So if
sponsor me.
Salter?
Salter. I mean, I have had a few of their things break down on me before, like, because I get them in John Lewis. Because you think anything you get from John Lewis will last forever, but turns out it doesn't. Because of capitalism. So don't buy anything. Salter, please sponsor me. Ooh, it's starting to smell
really good,
like
doesn't
Christmas. It smells like
Quicker.
sweets. It smells like sweets I didn't like as a child. You know, like the ones with the liquid inside.
And then the next thing that I bought was this really fancy milk.
Oh my gosh, it's gold top milk.
Gold top, beautiful.
Do I have to keep whisking it?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so we're doing 200. I can only fit 100 at a time, so I'm going to add the milk. 100. And then 200.
Oh, it does smell like my childhood.
It's a really nice rum, this one.
I don't know if my childhood smelling of rum is a good thing or a bad thing.
I don't know. I have the same thing with gin.
Yeah.
And actually, I was thinking about this the other day. My granny used to drink brandy and ginger. And that, like, is the most amazing smelling drink.
My dad was a brandy and port. Like, you
wow.
come to him and
Double
go, like, I've got period pain. He'd be like, brandy and port. And he'd be like, my bus was late. And he'd be like, have a brandy and port. What's next?
Okay, so that needs a good whisking. And then I took photos on my phone of this, so I've got the recipe in kind of 2 halves.
Wonderful.
In a separate bowl, whisk the egg whites, fold the boozy egg mixture into the egg whites, and then whip the cream and fold that in. Okay, so now we need
want me
to
to do the egg
switch.
whites?
Yeah, so if we'll leave the rum mixture to one side for the moment.
Do you want me to clean the whisk?
I wanted to be a TV chef when I was a kid. That was like the dream. Like Jamie Oliver was like peak career. And I said to my parents, I was like, I want to be a TV chef. And they were like, absolutely not, go to university. So I studied art. Really disappointed them.
I'm going to study, quote unquote, art.
You could have had a chef now.
Now look what you've got.
Now, I've heard an old wives' tale that whisking egg whites takes about 30 minutes.
Well, I think that's with a hand whisk.
Yeah,
So
which
this
we-
is a mechanical whisk, so maybe we'll halve the time. I reckon they'll be ready in about
Half an hour.
15 minutes.
Okay, so Ra here in the kitchen with the whisk going in the background. I'd just like to talk about Christmas circa 1994. I believe Disneyland Paris had opened. That was the time I said to my mum, can we go to Disneyland before the magic dies for me? Turns out the magic never died, be an artist. I remember circa 1993, I went to Penny's, which is known as Primark, and got myself a brown velvet spaghetti string dress and wore a cream polo neck underneath it, and I felt very sophisticated. That Christmas, Uncle Paddy came around and we inserted some cloves into oranges and hung them up by the fire. It smelled so nice. Are you done?
Yeah, I've got a stiff peak.
What an efficient whisk.
It's a great whisk. That would have taken days with a hand
That was
whisk.
amazing. Okay, what are we doing now?
I also think, and this is hearsay because I've just thought of this now,
Okay.
but I would normally have whisked the egg whites in like the bigger bowl, but I think having them in the smaller bowl meant it was deeper, so it whisked quicker.
Oh my god, maybe if you're deeper,
Does that
you
make
get
sense?
more peaks.
Probably.
Probably. Okay, so what happens now?
So now we fold, and I had a spatula a second
I always
ago.
feel bad when things are wasted. What does egg white taste like?
I don't know.
Nothing. That's a whole load of nothing.
So shall I fold this
It's a little
in?
bit salty. How do you... Don't lose the bubbles.
Oh, you're supposed to do it a spoon at a time, aren't
Yeah.
you? I've already fucked it.
Oh well.
So I think folding just means that you do like a figure of 8. And smush, and smush, and smush. Oh, that does look really nice. It looks quite pink, doesn't it? It's got a nice kind of egg yolky hue to it.
You're a hue.
I was reading a book about different tones, hues, all the different colour words, and I got so confused.
Tony. Hue. Tone. Hue. Hues and tones are different.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. I got
Colour
really
is
confused.
complicated.
It's really complicated.
Really complicated. But yeah, colour is a lot going on with colour. And some days we're really good at colour, and then some days We haven't got a fucking
Not
clue.
a clue.
Not a clue.
Okay, 150 mils of whipping cream.
Whipping.
I've never bought whipping cream before because I always just buy double cream.
Yeah.
But I thought, follow a recipe for once in your damn life. And so I bought whipping cream.
Says the chef.
I know, right? Well, not anymore. There you go. Do you want to give the double cream a little whiskey-roo?
Okay. So you talk about your Christmases now while I get this done.
Christmases at the Thompson household were always the most magical. We did actually have a really good time when we were kids because my mum is legitimately obsessed with Christmas. And I got a text message from her, it's like the end of November now, at least 2 weeks ago. And she was like, George, I couldn't help myself. I've started putting up the Christmas decorations.
Oh my God, me too. Me and Charlotte really need to talk about Christmas.
I know, because she decorated the whole house last year because she thought we were all coming down. But then it got cancelled because of the old COVID nightmare. So this year she's like, George, I'm going to put everything up. I think she's gone quite wild about it. She's having a light competition in her house with all her neighbours. And they're doing like big light displays, like in the States.
I want to know about your childhood. Don't cry.
I don't know. I don't know what was the sort of key feature. We were normally do you know what it was? We were normally in Scotland with my grandparents. And they lived in this really old, rickety, it was quite a scary old house, but it was like beautiful. And all of the aunts would get in the kitchen. My mum's got like 4 siblings. And we would just cook. I think that was the main thing about Christmas. Everyone would constantly, you'd make breakfast and then everyone would start making lunch and then you'd have lunch and then everyone would start making dinner. And it was just, it was amazing. It was like loads of food.
Do you recall any particular presents from the father of Christmas?
No. That's really weird, isn't it? I don't really.
I do.
What do you remember?
I remember one year I got a Wendy house.
Oh, Wendy houses were the best. We had a Wendy house in our
It had
garden.
fairies on the outside with primroses.
Oh, that's
It was
so
beautiful.
cute.
And it was outside my room on Christmas morning. And I was like, I don't remember what I said, but if I was to say it now, I'd be like, what the fuck? What? No! He's been. And also, I tripped over a load of encyclopedias, which the Father of Christmas brought me every year. Fucking loved encyclopedias.
Encyclopedias were great.
Before the internet, children, we had encyclopedias.
Even, my mum was clearing out the house recently and she was getting rid of a set of encyclopedias. And I was like, no, I want them. You can keep them. But all the information is like totally out of date, isn't it?
Well, it won't be when the internet crashes, which it will soon.
No, but like the science in an encyclopedia now is like 20 years out of date.
Oh, yeah.
They know like, it's, yeah.
Oh, yeah, put them in the bin.
Yeah,
Oh.
they went to the recycling.
Make bunting out of them. Make bunting out of them.
Oh my God, like at the, yeah.
At my wedding.
I was going to say that.
At my,
but I
yeah,
tried to
at my wedding, which I am fucking determined to keep as a precious memory, thank you.
Well, it was gorgeous. We
it
made
was gorgeous.
meters and meters and meters of bunting.
We
It was
made
fabulous.
a kilometre of bunting out of old books.
When we went to take that down, I hid in the toilet. Everyone was like, we're going to take down the bunting now. And I was like, I'm just going to go pee. And stayed in the loo for about 20 minutes. It was up on a balcony. It wouldn't have been responsible for me to try and help. This is the other thing that is very Christmassy, is an apron. I don't think I ever saw anyone in my family cook wearing an apron except at Christmas.
Well,
There was some kind of big, like, oh, it's Christmas. Maybe it's because everyone was in their fancy clothes from church. Oh.
okay, funny story. Recently I was back in Ireland at my dad's funeral. And I got ready in the morning and they were like, oh, you look lovely. It's 3 hours until the coffin arrives. And I was like, okay, I'll put on an apron. And I was like, this is actually quite a good look.
Yeah.
Like funeral attire and then an
an
apron with
apron over
like
the
petals and chefs on it. It was like,
Yeah, that's really
it's
cool.
added a touch of humour to,
I'd never made that connection before, that it's like smart clothes covering. That was a big part of childhood Christmas, was church.
that is whipped.
That is hipped. Now I feel like we should add this
I just have a
mixture
spoon.
slowly to that mixture, and then spoon it in. So if you slowly whisk,
Ooh. Can I lick the whisk?
yeah.
I'm just going to lick this while you do that. You know,
This is
let's
beginning
be-
to look really delightful, guys. I'm quite excited about this. It's getting to look a lot
like Christmas. Christmas.
Da,
Christmas.
da, da, da. Right, should we try it?
Yeah, let's try it. Okay, everyone take a seat.
Now, something I did read in the recipe is that you can make this ahead of time and leave it in the fridge, but it'll separate. So all it needs before you serve is a light stir, and then sprinkle your nutmeg on top.
Light store.
A light stir. Cheers.
Right, there we go. Cheers. 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 Oh, it's like trying to drink through the head of a Guinness, except it's all just head of Guinness.
It's all just head of Guinness. I have never had eggnog until last year because I was like, that's disgusting. It's like boozy custard. And then Sasha made
boozy
it.
custard.
Yeah. And then, but then you try. I'm actually like a complete convert. I think this is the best
I'm getting a spoon.
Christmas drink. We drank too many of these last year. I would cap it at about 4. Like more than 4 eggnogs.
What happens?
Can you imagine, I don't know, getting one of those litre tubs of Devon custard and just drinking it out the can?
Yeah.
It would feel like
it's
that.
a bit Bailey's sickly.
Yeah, it's a bit like, it's fine, but you just feel like you don't want to eat anything else ever again.
Oh, this is nice.
It's really good, isn't it? So there's a couple of different ways of making it, apparently. This is the American style. I think you can do one where you cook the custard and then you fold in the cream and it's a bit thicker and velvetier.
Velvetier. I might shave some chocolate on top.
Some chocolate shavings would
Would
be
a
good.
merino cherry go astray?
I don't know about that. I don't think that would work. Maraschino.
I don't know what it's called.
I do. I'm really impressed with this rum, by the way. I'd like to give it another shout out. It's maybe a little macabre for the holidays, but Dead Man's Fingers, it's just a really cool bottle.
We do things differently here. That's what everyone says. Oh, why am I being so cynical? We'll get to that in the news. Dead Man's Fingers is a blend of 2-year-old rum, that's not that old, and spices that create rum and crab shack in St. Ives, Cornwall, England. Inspired by local flavours such as Dead Man's Fingers. No, I'm kidding. Saffron cake, spiced fruit, and the shack's own Pedro, unpronounceable word beginning with X ice, cream. Ice cream. Enjoy it mixed or neat. Either way, it's not your usual. This is Cornish soul.
Nice.
Do you know, anytime I think of Cornwall now, I think of my friend Sue Lynn, who said to me the first time I met her that she's Kurdish, and I thought she was from Cornwall.
They're the most gorgeous family, aren't they?
just-
That was such a beautiful wedding.
Oh,
shout out to
Sue Lynn and Joe. I couldn't go because we'll get to that in the news. But I love those two so much. So much.
Magical people.
How much
really
more of this
special
do we
day.
have? It's delicious.
I think we could do another cup each. And the perfect amount. Don't double a recipe if you don't need to.
I'm talking about great weddings. We finally got to do the Tim and Lauren wedding as well.
Oh, that
which
was
was just
amazing.
another theatrical bonanza. And you know what? Like, even though, we'll get to it in the news, but I'm getting a divorce. Weddings are always precious and very hard to not have fond memories of.
Well, what was especially lovely about Tim and Lauren's was that everyone performed. They had a cabaret.
It was ridiculous.
And it was, none of us have seen our friends perform in ages and ages and ages. And just to see that level of talent, like one after the other, was magic.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
It's just really nice that we're getting to do things like weddings, like get-togethers, because we won't take that shit for granted ever again.
Yeah. And also, I think this year's Christmas party season, for me at least, is about seeing a few people that I really want to see and having a beautiful time. Also, shout out to pre-ground nutmeg. No faff.
George,
It tastes
really?
fine.
It does taste
nice.
fine, but there's nothing nicer than having the tiny little mini grater. And
I know, but the thing with the mini grater is eventually you end up with 8 of them in a drawer and they just cut your fingers to shit every time you're looking
I
for
don't have
something.
8 of them, and if you do, can I have one? Because I didn't get one from the breakup, so we'll get to that in the news.
The one thing I didn't get in my divorce was the nutmeg grater! And I'm furious about it! This is perfect. Oh, guys. This is the most Christmassy I've felt so far.
Really? I mean,
There's even a mini orange in the fruit bowl.
oh, it's called a clementine.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Madeline, but different.
I had to write a letter to Santa one year and be like, stop putting them in my fucking stocking, mate.
You can't edit Santa. That's the point. You're either naughty or nice, and you get what you're given.
A strongly worded letter sorted that right out. I was like, I don't want squashed fruit in my stocking.
What did I ask for Santa? I remember writing letters, and it was like, please can I have fashion wheel? Please can I have G.I. Joe? Please can I have fashion wheel? And then one year I got fashion wheel.
Without wanting to ruin the magic, we do still have the letters in the attic. They sort of went out of the chimney to Santa and then back into a little,
How the fuck does that happen?
I don't know. The magic of Christmas.
Well, we asked Phoenix, as my son recently lost his 2 bottom front teeth. But you...
Yeah, he looks so gangster.
Oh, he looks awesome. I was going to say awful. He doesn't. He looks perfect. But what's it called? We asked the tooth fairies after they take the magic out of the teeth, can we have them back to put in a little thing for him?
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. So we got them back, but you have to like as adults, you have to write to the
Yeah. Finding your
you don't
teeth.
You don't want to dick with that.
Finding
like
your teeth when you're
stuff.
older is one of the most disturbing things that can
Yeah,
happen.
well, my friend Livy and Bells, we'll talk about them sometime in the podcast. I imagine we'll have them on at some point.
Oh, we should definitely have them on the podcast.
We'll get to that in our news. What's it called? I went to their house in Stroud, a beautiful little enchanted house. And Livy was like, look at all these lovely things. And Phoenix was like, oh, look at all these lovely little things. And there was a tiny little box full of her teeth. And I was like, what the fuck?
Wow, that's
amazing. And
amazing.
they made a nice kind of ivory rattle. And I was like, is it creepy? Is it cool? I don't know.
I think in a beautiful box, it's nice. My dad was a GP and he did lots of woodwork. And he would obviously, like, this is such an odd thing. He would obviously, like, nick... like sample tubes and bottles for stuff, and he'd keep like little things in them in the workshop. And so I think you know those sort of brown, I think they're urine sample tubes. So the brown bottles with the white caps with the label.
Yeah.
We just had 3 of those with Edward, George and Alexander with all our teeth in them.
Oh.
And it was really disturbing.
I don't know what happened to my teeth. I have to go through the attic. We'll get to that in the fucking news. Oh, that was a lovely cocktail moment, George.
It was gorgeous, wasn't it? Sorry, I just got quite
He's
an
on his
important
phone.
text message.
He's
No,
on his
I'm
phone.
putting it away.
He's on
I'm
his
putting it
phone.
away.
It's on his phone. I want to hear your news. Should we do our news? We're in the fucking studio.
We're in the studio. This is so exciting to
We're
be
in
here with
my
Alex
studio.
Mackenzie.
Alex Mackenzie. Yes, it's Alex Mackenzie's studio, and he's called it my studio.
Which is great because now we're in my
My studio.
I haven't, by the way.
Well, we're calling it my studio.
We're workshopping it. We're
It's out there. I mean, I was going to call
mood
it
boarding.
Getting Mackenzie.
I thought Getting Mackenzie was great.
Yeah, but like if you want to email us as artists@working@gmail.com with any name suggestions for this amazing studio.
I just thought Mackenzie Studios is great.
We're surrounded by plants and heavy curtains and really nicely coiled wires and
Really
lovely
nice
things.
mics, let's face it.
Yeah,
This
the
sounds
mics.
great.
George, news.
I have had some super great fun news recently.
Go.
I've been working with Rule 1 Productions up in Walthamstow. They designed and built the Liberty Christmas window this year.
Ooh, they've done it
which
a
was
few
so
years.
nice. They've done it a few years in a row. I wasn't able to work on it last year.
I did the
or the year
rooftop
before, the
one.
rooftop one. I think that was about 3 or 4 years ago now, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Beautiful. They've done such a nice scheme this year. Please go down to Great Marlborough Street and see it. It's amazing.
Or Oxford Street. Isn't it on both streets?
Well, it's on Regent Street and Great Marlborough, but the windows are actually on Great Marlborough.
That's fair. That's
yeah.
fair.
I
But
mean, I've just spent a week there, so...
and you had to wear nice clothes in, isn't that
We had to wear quite
exciting?
smart clothes. Well, 2 things. I looked like a tatty mess the whole time, so
Yeah.
no painty trousers. Because they were filming a documentary for Channel 4 about the making of Christmas at Liberties.
Oh, well, that is a lovely making. It's
So
quite magical.
lovely Jack at Rule 1 Productions was mic'd up and all of his chat was going to be in the documentary and stuff.
Oh, that's
It's going to be amazing. It's really exciting.
Oh, go Rule 1.
That's coming out on 4OD on the 15th of December.
Well,
So
let's
have a
bloody watch it.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
You've also been selling some of your goods.
Yes, I've been really, really like a busy little bee trying to make Christmas merchandise or Christmas stock with my illustrations on them. So like notebooks, cushions. I've made some beautiful trays.
Oh,
And
shit, my
I
phone
did.
is on.
Oh,
How
the
rude.
phone's
I'm
ringing.
sorry.
Oh gosh.
Oh, God. Yeah, but see, sorry, something about merch?
Well, it was so cute. Ali's sister Larry, her kid Thea goes to this incredible school in Clapham, and they have a big Christmas fair every year. And she asked me to run a little stall, so I took a suitcase of all my stuff down. And last night just had like the best time meeting new people, doing a little Christmas fair, selling loads of stuff. Sold some paintings, which was amazing. Sold some trays. It was just really fun, and it was super Christmassy. And all the people there were so nice. And it's the first time I felt really Christmassy this year. It was lovely.
Yay.
That's really cute.
And you've also, you've got a way to pay, George.
Oh my God. Well, this is my favourite thing, actually.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that later, but
Okay.
you've got a thing.
Yeah, I did a technology. I'm really proud of
I'm
myself.
so proud of you.
I'm really proud of
You've
myself.
really learned this year.
I did try, because I've not, you all know that I'm not very technological. So I had to up my game a little bit.
So you've got one other bit of news, which is, I think, also fucking exciting, which is the unicorn, which
Oh,
we
the
love
unicorn
working at.
was amazing. We've worked with the unicorn a lot this year. It's been so special working with them. Jen there is
An
priority
angel.
number 1 to be on the podcast. We're going to do it next year.
Yeah.
Julian Clary has written this amazing kids book called The Bolds, and they've made it into a stage show at the Unicorn.
Yes.
And it is just so fun and colourful and beautiful, and the set's amazing.
I got some behind the scenes and it was just so charming.
It's so nuts. And there are so many different layers to the set. Everything lifts up and slides out and pulls and moves. And it's just
Clever.
going to be so exciting for kids to watch. I'm really keen to take you and Phoenix and go and see it, because it's going to
And
be
can we
magic.
take Tabby as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Lovely.
She'd love that. It would be amazing.
Also, what was I saying? The unicorn. You had Phil from the last episode.
Oh,
on.
yeah. Phil, just an absolute dream. He's so great. And who else was working
Stella.
on it with us? Stella Backman was with us, who is an
Stella
incredible,
Backman.
incredible scenic.
Yeah, we worked on the Twits together in the Vault years ago. Rolled all the Twits.
Yeah, and didn't really know that you'd worked together, because
Yeah.
you're in the vaults, you never know who you're with, because
Never. You're always in a little dark, damp hole by
little
yourself.
corner by yourself. It's
Yeah.
wild. It's been a really, really exciting couple of months, actually. I've really enjoyed the work we've been doing. I've done so much scenic painting, which is a huge transition from what I was doing last year.
What were you doing last year?
Well, last year was lockdown, wasn't it? So the year before that was corporate hospitality
Oh,
at
time of
Christmas.
soup.
Christmas party. And this has just been so joyful.
I
It's
mean,
really nice.
being a scenic, like I was talking to a lovely gentleman called Hugo recently, and he works in sound production for films and stuff like that. And he was telling me about what he was doing and that he's in meetings. And I was like, this is why I'm a scenic. Because we just come in,
Yeah.
there's never a meeting. There might be like a brief, maybe a meeting, but you're not involved. You just go in and make the small picture look big.
It's really weirdly, I do sometimes find it really stressful, but I like not having to do budgets, and I like not having to order stuff, and I like not having to deal with all the external stuff that a huge show requires, because
Yeah.
it's just nice to go in and be super creative and paint stuff. And that was a bit the same with the Liberty Christmas window. Rule One Productions did all the heavy lifting, and then we went in and we did all of the beautiful
The zhuzhing,
zhuzhing and
yeah.
the gorgeous envelope making, and just it's a visual thing, and you get so much time to kind of play with
And it's what
how
you're good
everything
at.
looks. Yeah, it's really nice.
This is why I knocked the event producer out of your hand with such violence.
Get away! No.
Put that down. This leads nicely onto my news, which is we both worked on it. Gangs of London.
Oh, that was great.
That
was big.
It was fucking huge. It was in
Yeah.
Holloway Prison, which is like bleak.
Really bleak.
But like at the same time, it's incredible. And me and George just ran around all the cells and like
Oh
looked
yeah,
at
in our
everything.
lunch breaks, we were going exploring around the
Like
prison.
photo
It's
shoot.
mad.
It was so much fun. And then I got this really brilliant bit of it. I forgot how much I loved it. They asked me to marble the fireplace, and I
I've
was
never
like,
seen anything
"Yes,
more incredible
please."
than you marbling that
Oh, thank
fireplace.
you.
I've never seen anyone work with that much lust for what they do. It was
fucking love it.
beautiful.
It's like they just handed me a piece of like black howlite kind of marble, and they were like, "Can you do that?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, yes, please."
And you just got given this bolted together sort of 3 MDF pieces
All
of...
different textures. That was fucking annoying.
Yeah.
But we got it done. And the thing is, it led to a little bit more work. But
I saw the best thing. Can I jump in with a little anecdote about that?
Absolutely.
It was lying on the floor, and one of the chippies went to move it, and another guy was like, no, I'll help you. That's so heavy.
Stop.
And the other guy just lifted it up and was like, it's made of wood, mate. And they had a real giggle about the fact that it looked like it was a solid fucking chunk of marble. It was incredible.
That has made my day.
It was really nice.
That's lovely.
It was a really lovely interaction between two people. It was magic.
Oh, I love it. Thank you for telling me that.
Yeah, it was cute.
Off the back of that, I've not really been working a great deal because, God, how do we go into this?
Well, you had a bereavement,
I had
which
a
is very
bereavement.
difficult.
My father passed away in Ireland, so I've not been working much. I've not been engaging with the world very much, and I've been in Ireland a lot. It is what it is, and it's happened. We had a wakes are fucking incredible.
Well, you were giving me sort of live updates from what was going on in Ireland, and sounds like the Irish handle
Grief a lot.
those
Yeah.
situations better. Like there's a real like beautiful system of tradition that goes into looking after someone after they've died.
Yeah, like you don't. I love this. It's so pagan. You don't leave the body in case the devil sneaks in and puts in a bad soul. So you like sleep in the same room as the. We all took shifts with Frankie, his wife's kids, and it was just a lot of cooperation. It was exhausting. It was tiresome, but it was a real let go, and like it was good. But as well, I forget because he's my silly dad. That he's quite an important public figure as well. He was a chief prison officer in Mountjoy Prison, and he set up the museum there. He put a lot of work into kind of the history of history in general of the prison. But there was an armed guard. The bagpipes were out playing Raglan Road. It was like...
Oh, you showed me a video. It was the most touching thing. There was like a proper like military salute almost, like guys lined up playing music. Like, it was wonderful.
But yeah, this was the kind of coolest thing. We got a police escort across the city.
Oh yeah, that's sweet.
Which is something that I will never experience again in my entire life. And I mean, every sad event has a silver lining. I got to spend loads of time with my lovely nieces and nephews and be with them and talk about it. Me and my niece painted a picture of my dad. I got to be the wake in the club, in the rugby club, was really cool because my dad was like, I want my ashes spread in Clontarf Rugby Club. And I was like, okay, of course you do. It's like some people have, Lansdowne Road, Croke Park, whatever, it's the little rugby club in Clontarf, which I think is incredibly sweet. So
that's magic, because I can only imagine he spent like a lot of time there with his mates, just,
Yeah, and I spent a lot of time there as well. It was weird going back because it was the place where I drank bottomless Diet Cokes and salted peanuts and made... beds under the jackets.
Yeah, sure.
Like my childhood in the 80s and 90s. But ultimately, it was just an incredible send-off and really nice to connect with the Pethbridge side of the family. We're going to have a reunion soon. So I don't know if they listen, but shout out to Donald, Stephen and, all of them. So yeah, we'll be having a family reunion soon enough. But obviously, off the back of this, I've had to really take care of my mental health and know that you have to take these things slowly. I've been sleeping 8 hours a night. I'm not on social media. You're my diary.
Yeah. And also, you got your new watch, because this seems like completely revolutionary.
Wait, no. That's my favourite thing.
Oh, right, sorry.
So all of this, basically, I've gotten a few canvases to do some more portraits, and one of them is going to be a portrait of my dad.
That's so lovely.
If you want to see that portrait, it's actually on my documentary diary on www.rapethbridge.com/documentary diary, and I think it's my dad and my son, and there's just a little bit.
It's a photograph that you took of both of them, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's
then
quite
you're going to do a painting from it.
It's quite a somber looking photo, but we were having such a laugh at the time that it feels weird that it's so somber. But yeah, he's quite an important man and I will miss him very, very much so. But I am getting through it, and if you've been struggling to get in touch with me, I'm sorry.
I think it's really, I was saying this downstairs, I got a beautiful, it was from the accounts department at Unicorn Theatre. And the sign off from the lady who was emailing me was like, I'm very aware that people are having a difficult time at the moment. If you have any disability or mental health issues that are making it difficult for you to reply to this email, please take your time. Don't worry about being too quick or, whatever. Just, be kind to yourself and take whatever time you need. And I thought that was such a wonderful thing to read at the end of an email.
Do you know that?
Because it can get on top of you, can't it?
That feeds back nicely, actually, to one of the first episodes that we had. Excuse me, that we had this
the
year.
Christmas jingle,
which was with the making of the Great Pottery Throwdown, with Zoe Belton, and the first thing she asked us is, "Are you all right?
Are you okay?"
Yeah.
We got out the car and she was like, "Is everyone okay?" It was magic. It feels wild that was this year's episode.
We've only
done.
It
feels like such a long time ago.
It's been a long year.
Yeah, it's been a lot has happened. A lot's gone down.
I mean, the first episode that we did this year, because obviously we had to take a break because everything was different. It's been a very staggered year for the podcast, but we've had a lot happen and done a lot. And also the people that we've had on have done a lot. Like
it's so reflective, isn't it? I always think when people, people talk taxes or accountancy, and it's like, we're not the kind of people that get money in on a regular basis every month. And in the same way, we're not the sort of people who can allocate one day a month to doing the same thing, because you never know where the jobs are going to come in or who you're going to be working for. You might have to take a week here. Like, I was away for the whole summer.
Yeah.
Like, there's been and I think a lot of people will have been feeling that this year, because we're all trying to get back to figure
feeling
out
of
how
normal.
yeah,
It's
like figure out how the world works again. It's
and
pretty mad.
I'm still not entirely sure. Do you know what Yanina's up to?
Yanina is doing a Richard Energy presents Dick Whittington Christmas panto.
How
Spectacular.
perfect.
It looks I mean, I've only seen the images on their Instagram and social media, but it looks like a lot of fun. It's very drag, very queer, very cabaret, very camp.
All our favourite things.
Like, perfect. Like, gender bent pantomime.
Talking about gender bent
wonderful.
pantomime, it's Shotgun are doing Le
Oh,
Grotto.
Le Grotto. I cannot wait. This
It's
has
out
been...
in Woolwich, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a theatre out there. Just look, I don't think it's panto. It's more kind of drag led, but like.
Well, I think it's a more kind of cabaret style, Parisian,
smoochy woochy.
Yeah, like sat down, little table, cafe burlesque style.
It's going to be fucking funny. I got to see the R&D for that. I went in to take some photos.
Oh yeah, of course.
They had literally just scratched together this show, and I was there on day 3, and I was like, guys, this is done. It's like, it's so funny.
It's like, you just see those photos go up on their social media, and you're like, amazing person, but like, the talent that ebbs out of that creative team is unparalleled.
Actually,
It's
every little, and I'm going to quote Nativity the Play, every single person we had on this podcast this year is a little pocket of stardust.
It's so great.
It really is.
Yeah, big shout out to Laura Drake Chambers, who kind of
dragged me kicking and screaming through this year, and also did all of
and
these
also
things.
did all of that. Like, incredible. She's a powerhouse of creative inspiration, and the people that she surrounds herself with are just all amazing.
Yeah. And,
so really go and check this out. It's going to be a big, important piece of thing to go and witness.
I'm very proud of our lovely friends.
Yeah, they're all amazing.
Let's lead us on.
Should we do a favourite moment first and then do a poetry moment?
Yeah, let's do a favourite.
Because I want to do a favourite moment.
Okay,
and they're both tacky.
Oh my God, we never do that.
I never thought that this is the thing. Tell me about yours first, because this made me chuckle.
Okay, so the other day I went out and my phone got robbed, and
so shit. Like, so shit.
And so did my card. That's fine. Stuff like that happens. I went into, it's grand. All of that is sorted. Silver lining. I went into the 3 shop. I got a new mobile sorted, and she was really nice, and she gifted me a smartwatch.
It's so cool.
Now, I've just touched the screen and it automatically comes on, right? Okay, there it is. It's now 12 minutes past 1 on Friday the 19th. I have done 6,500 steps and my heart rate is 80 beats per minute. This watch is at 40% battery. I can tell you how I slept last night.
You could tell me the funny thing about the sleep pattern thing, because that was amazing.
What? What was the funny thing?
You said that you thought you had been awake for like 2 hours.
Oh, yeah. So I think I wake up, at 4 a.m. and I do I'm awake at 4 a.m. and it goes on for 7 essays.
Yeah.
I woke up and then I looked at my phone and they said I've only been awake for 2 minutes. And I'm like, wow, a lot happens in that 2 minutes in my mind.
Yeah, I think a lot of us have that, where when you're awake at night, it feels like hours.
It feels like,
and you're
forever.
You're having really bad sleep, but you're sleeping more than you think you are.
And that's another thing that I'm getting as well, because it's telling me, you're sleeping, I slept for 8 hours, both nights that I've had this smartwatch on, but I'm not getting deep sleep. So that's...
Sure.
And they're like, try not to worry so much. And I'm like, go suck a fuck. Just not now. Not today.
Give me a minute. Give me an eggnog and a minute.
So, but I never considered getting a smartphone, an iFit, an iBit, whatever the fuck you call them. And immediately it has improved my health a little bit. And I have our artwork from the Basquiat show that we did at the Unicorn as the background. So
Amazing.
It's fucking lovely. But as somebody who's not really bothered with anything technical outside of my camera, I have to say it's a really lovely embellishment to an awful thing like losing my phone.
Yeah, and it also now it finds your phone, doesn't it? So even if you misplace your phone, you can log it.
I just go, find me phone, and it finds my phone.
That's so clever.
Yeah, it's so clever. What's your technology?
My favourite thing, which is super surprising for me, I got this because I was doing my Christmas fair. Obviously, I was like, oh yeah, I need to take payment. And I immediately got super stressed about it. And then I was like, wait, everyone does this. Like, there's every coffee shop in London has an iZettle. I'll just look there first. And I bought an iZettle. It was £80.
Okay,
And
that's
there's
kind of
no-
expensive.
It's expensive, but there's no monthly payment. So normally, if you get like a PDQ machine, you pay £30 a month, and that really quickly racks up. Yeah.
I've got a question. So now I
She
heard
raised her hand there
I
on
did
a
raise
podcast.
my hand. Leave me alone. It's called manners. Ever heard of them?
No.
What's it called? So I heard that you can go around buses and start just tapping on people's phone.
You can't.
Why not?
Shall
we try it?
I don't know why you can't, but there's definitely that's a rumor because otherwise it would happen all the time, right?
Oh, try it now.
No,
Why?
I'm not going to try and rob you.
Well, it wouldn't be robbing you.
I also don't have my iZettle on me. That's
okay.
that's the main reason why.
Okay, well, I just say be
I don't
careful.
wear
with
it
them.
around my neck.
I know
now.
you're not going to go around stealing from things, but that's just a rumor.
Just
I
restaurants,
heard.
just cutlery in restaurants.
Stop! No, don't steal.
I don't steal.
Don't steal.
I don't.
Don't.
I don't.
Then where do you get all that fucking Zedell's fucking napkins from?
From Zedell. So yeah, I got this iZettle machine, and you pay £80 up front. You don't pay a monthly fee, but they take a small percentage for every transaction that you do. And you just Bluetooth it to your phone, connect to the Wi-Fi, and you're good to go. And I have never been able to set up a piece of technological equipment as easily or as quickly with as little fuss. And it made me feel really good about being a human. I was like, this is going to be fucking helpful for a lot of things. And it's taken away a lot of stress about how I can sell my work.
Yeah, I think I'm really proud of you for doing that because usually,
Thanks, man.
if you're doing a thing like that, you're like, "Rah, can I pay you to do that?"
Yeah, exactly.
I'm shit at shit like that.
And it was nice just to go, no, I'm going to do this and to do it and for it to be really simple and for it to work. And it was, yeah, I mean, get involved, guys.
So
if you need to sell your work, just buy an iZettle. Someone suggested this the other day because a friend who works in a gallery said that one of the other women that worked in the gallery came in with a box of prints and just said, does anyone want to buy some of these prints? And you can literally, if you travel around with your card machine.
Oh my God, we can
and
go
your
around
artwork,
pubs.
Yeah,
Let's
could do whatever.
it. ATW goes selling prints.
And someone, lovely Chloe Wynn, who also we interviewed this year, who's spectacular.
Well, let's sell our crafts.
Well, she was telling me about a big craft art fair that's specifically illustration and image led that happens at the big space under the Oxo Tower.
Yeah, that makes
That
sense.
one-
I've done a show there with Rose Bruford, so yeah, that would make
exactly.
sense.
And that happens every year, so we need to sort of organise that for next year. Next year's going to be the kind of
Let's get our shit together year.
try and sell some stuff and really make some sales. I think that's a good idea.
Okay, let's get it together. Because another thing that was kind of eye-opening about the year that I had, in particular around the loss of my dad, I dropped everything, including the keys to this podcast, making it very difficult to keep it going. And I realised, I need to make it very transparent how to run this podcast, because without me there, it doesn't go.
No, exactly.
So we need to sort our shizit out, and thank you to all our patrons who have stuck with us through this very difficult time.
Oh my God, our patrons have just been the most amazing group of people. It's been so special. And
The love.
The love from them, and also the people that we've had on the podcast who have given their time very freely to come and hang out with us.
Yeah.
It's been great, guys. We're very grateful.
I mean, one day we'll be sitting on millions of pounds throwing it at poor artists, and it swings and roundabouts. We'll just be like, darling, take it, buy some pencils.
I do want to buy some more pencils.
I want pencils.
I've got loads, but if anyone's thinking of getting me anything for Christmas.
Yeah, I'd like some charcoal, some thin charcoal pencils.
Oh, yeah,
please.
nice. Art
just
supplies.
for doing me portraits.
Squirrel hair brushes.
So at the end of our favourite thing, I actually have a favourite festive thing.
Okay, what's your favourite festive thing?
It's a question asked by our friend Sophie Dodgson.
Oh, this was priceless. This was absolutely priceless.
On Facebook. Now, Sophie Dodgson is a designer, colourist. She runs a company called Tootles and Nibs, and she also does colouring for Tank Girl and for a few comics out there. But go and check out her stuff. She's incredibly talented. She's also very witty. What would be the worst advent calendar theme? Question mark.
Your response to this had me and Ali in hysterics for about 20 minutes.
I went wild. I think a lot of people went wild, but let's just have a little rip-roar through them. Now, Sophie has a wonderfully dry sense of humour. I think the fucking world of that woman. And this this question got a lot of people very heavily involved.
I love when I love when a Facebook thread spirals out of control with love and just silly gleefulness instead of like, "Meh, meh, meh, I think this, I think that," and people are just like ridiculous. It's perfect.
Here we are. Okay, so from James, he said, "Scary Tories behind each door."
Oh my God, that's horrifying.
I said, "Your daily bank balance."
Your daily bank balance is genius. Like, especially in December when you're trying to spend money and save money, and like just the thought of like waking up with a hangover and having to go over to your advent calendar and be like, "Oh God."
Another one is a piece of plastic from the neck of a dead fish retrieved from a local beach, along with a fact, along with a fact about how screwed we are on this planet from Greenpeace behind each door.
Yeah, that's a horrible one.
24 reasons there's a war on Christmas with empty spaces behind each door due to shortages.
My favourite one was someone saying that someone's taken out the plastic tray and eaten all the chocolates, and then it's just an empty advent calendar when you open each one.
Oh, that is sad. Another one from me. Every door has a fart trapped inside from various people with food intolerances.
That is horrible.
Every door creates you another personal LinkedIn account. So every door you open, it subscribes you to a LinkedIn account.
Oh no, that's a really bad one.
Or like an Amazon
I got rid of my
leaflet.
LinkedIn account. It's useless.
I can't get rid of it, George. It's always there. They never leave you.
No, I mean, it's probably still there. Like, I always imagine that there's just like what is it, like an avatar of me trapped in the internet trying to be an event producer, but just like smacking its head against the glass of the computer from the inside. Like, let me out, let me out.
Hold on. This one really got me and Sophie's husband, Chris Nelson, who's a friend of mine, on a bit of a spiral. Sophie said, "Sound bites from your 25 most shameful moments in life." And
that's very unfair.
It's awful, but Sophie was like, "Oh, I was literally thinking the same thing, but gifts." And then I responded with like Glastonbury 2007, where I felt like I had the best time, but the footage would be deeply concerning.
Yeah, I know those nights where you're like, I had such a great time, and then you talk to your friends and you're like, are you okay?
Oh God! And people are concerned about you. I thought this was my favorite.
Let's do two more.
Okay, fine. Cut me off then. Each day,
it's getting less and less funny.
Each day contains a delicious or beyond tempting treat, but it's branded like fag packs. So on day one, you know, you got a Cadbury's Rose, which is a millimetre of fat around your arteries.
Oh.
Or day 25 is 25 ecstasy pills, which is minus 25 of your IQ points. So, you know, swings and roundabouts.
Yeah.
Have the nice thing, but just know what it does.
But just know what it does to you.
Just know what it does.
That's the awful thing, though. We know what it does to you. We just don't care or listen.
Well, that's why the fag pack thing doesn't work.
It's why Christmas works. I'm going to eat the mince pie. My favourite Christmas thing is Al went to Co-op the other day and came back with a pack of brandy and bitter marmalade mince pies with, instead of pastry on top, it had brandy cream, like in a little dollop.
Fresh?
Well, like as fresh as you can get in a pack of cream from a fridge in a supermarket.
Was it Morrison's?
Co-op.
Oh, okay.
They were fucking
delicious.
delicious.
To check them out.
Yeah, they were really good.
I mean, one thing like...
Favourite Christmas snack?
Is it?
What's your favourite Christmas snack?
Bailey's.
Is that a snack?
Well, it's food.
That's fair. I would go with a pig in a blanket.
I think when I was a kid, my mum would always make melon with paprika on top, and it was fucking lovely.
Oh, that does sound good.
Wrapped
in a bit of Parma ham.
We didn't have Parma ham in Dublin in the 80s.
That's fair.
Yeah, we had bacon.
Oh, I don't think you could do it with bacon.
No, you couldn't do it with bacon.
That'd be so horrible.
But the thing is, love it or hate it, Christmas kind of has to happen every year. So like this year in particular, I'm not really feeling up to it. I'm feeling slightly nihilistic, but you know, I've got to find the happiness in it. Otherwise it becomes miserable perpetually. So find the fucking happiness in this holiday season. Otherwise it's horrible.
I mean, I said this downstairs. I can't remember whether we were recording or not. So I guess it bears repeating. I'm going to try and do everything quite small this Christmas. And I don't want to go to big Christmas parties. I don't want to go to club nights. I just want to go to small, like, lovely soirees with a few close friends.
Soirees. Sounds like a gutter.
Soirees.
Are you going to the
Are
soiree?
you going to the soiree? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, like quarry,
Soiree.
slurry. It's like a quarry slurry, soiree.
Let's go to a soiree.
A soiree. Let's go to a soiree.
Let's go to a soiree. Set up a soiree. Only you and me are going to be there. And
And
Alex.
just have a few nice glasses of wine with a few nice chums wearing lovely hats.
And sing around the piano.
Yeah, that's my worst nightmare. So Al and his whole family are incredible musicians.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm just there lip syncing, like, I mean, I'm lip syncing on a podcast now. That doesn't work, does it?
We heard you. Don't make that noise. Also, I don't know where to put this in the podcast, but I want to talk about your play idea.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, we can just, we can talk about it now. I tell you what, why don't we talk about it in Poetry Moment?
Oh, let's
Because
take us...
that's kind of theatrical.
I agree. Alex, can you take us into a poetry moment, please?
So you do a Poetry Moment and I'll pitch a play.
That's okay. I'm going to do a poetry moment, and this is dedicated to my brother James, who did an incredible eulogy at my dad's funeral.
Oh, amazing.
He ratted me out in the eulogy as well. like I was so embarrassed because my dad was a very diplomatic man and always knew how to solve a problem with ultimate fairness, I suppose, so nobody could dick around. He ran a fucking prison. And I, like many people in the late 90s, started calling me mates on their mobiles on the house phone. And I racked up a £500 phone bill in 1997.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
So my dad pulled a telephone out of the wall, put both, we'd one upstairs in his room and then one downstairs, and he put them into the boot of the car, and took them to work with him every day.
Oh, wow. So you couldn't...
So I couldn't make a phone call.
You couldn't make phone calls while he was at work.
Yeah, that's a solution and a half.
That's nuts, isn't
Wouldn't
it?
mind, but James, did you have to rat me out? I mean, everyone laughed.
But that's so gorgeous. I think those moments, like, at the time, they're so humiliating, but actually in hindsight, like
I'm 38 now, I'm over it.
That's so joyful in a way.
Is.
Like,
it's really lovely.
I love, because we had strict phone rules at home. Like, if people phoned us after 9 o'clock, my dad would pick up the phone and be like, "Who is it?" And someone would be like, "Oh, it's Max. They're calling for George." He'd be like, "It's extremely rude to phone after 9 o'clock," and just hang up on them. And then the next day at school, I'd be like, "Yeah, sorry,
I'm gonna repeat this
like,
again. Did you grow up in a posh prison?
Yes. Boarding school and then at home.
Oh gosh. But my brother ended the eulogy with he went to see Christy Moore in the Point, I think, and Christy Moore did this song called The Gardener, originally by, I think the words or the poem is by Paul Doran, and he was just like, "I was there with my wife." I can't do my brother's voice, and I was just like, "Jennifer, that's dad all over." And this was, I think, before Dad passed away. So this is called The Gardener by Paul Doran. The gardener rises with the sun. He knows there's work to be done, the reason for every season. He knows when to dig in deep, when to sow and when to reap. That everything begins in spring. We make his bed with care and sow his seeds with love. The gardener has a tale to tell, fed the ground and water well. When planting out all he'll face the south. He is a patient one, Mother Nature's loving son. The robin is a friend of his. And when the day is done, he'll smile and say, "Wait till summer comes." And summer comes, and then we'll see just what he's done. When blooms of colour blossom in the sun, the signs of all his care and effort are displayed, and all his time and patience is repaid. The gardener rises with the sun. He knows there's work to be done. The reason for every season. End. That's a lot of goosebumps.
That's really beautiful. That's very goosebumpy.
My dad did have a robin friend. I thought this was fucking adorable. So he'd sit out in the back garden at the garage in Offaly, where him and his wife lived. And he'd have... in the morning, he'd have a bowl of grated cheese and he'd bring it out to the garden and he'd feed it to his robin who sat next to him while he did all his little seeds. I can't take it.
Oh my God. Well, Alex just went outside and recorded a robin. So maybe we can have that playing over the top of your poem.
Oh, how lovely. Sorry
That's
to bring
really
it all
beautiful.
about my dad, but you know,
No,
it is
but
fresh. It's fresh.
It is all about your dad, you know? Like, I think I was talking to someone about this the other day. I think grief is not something certainly my parents' generation handled at all well. And as we're getting older and as we're seeing, our relatives and people we know pass away, a healthier attitude towards, grief is really important. And I think talking about it's a big part of that. And I think, especially around this time of year when people have a lot of emotions and a lot of feelings, it's
it's important
to be thought about.
It's important to keep it open and to keep talking and to say that you're having a bad day or that you miss someone. And also the great thing about an Irish wake is you can see how everyone is doing.
Yeah.
I've been to a couple of funerals in England. You're not kind of invited to wail or like to have a...
What's an emotion?
It's, but like I have done a few here, and it is particularly upsetting that people are so thank you for coming, and there's no point where you can reflect or like the difference, I suppose, in Ireland is obviously I'm missing Ireland, can you tell? Is that people are invited almost to give a poem or to say a reading or it's almost very art based.
Yeah, it's almost like an open mic thing where it's like, if you want to say something, say something. If you want to do a song, do a song. If you want to read a poem, read a poem.
That's it. You fucking nailed it. It's an open mic.
It's really
Ireland is an open mic event.
Yeah.
Which can be a bit cringy sometimes, and that's fine.
Yeah. And that's, totally cool.
I wanted to, I don't know if we can fit it in, but I wanted to do a little reading from, well, what do you think, George?
I think it might be the Poetry Pharmacy.
It's the Poetry Pharmacy, because when you have a feeling, go to the Poetry Pharmacy, and this is for the condition of bereavement. And I thought this was very apt because if my dad was anything, he was a Buddhist. Certainly didn't practice Catholicism very well throughout his life, but was very spiritual. And this is called Do Not Stand by My Grave and Weep. You probably know it. By Mary Elizabeth Fry. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I'm not there, I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow, and I am the diamond glints that glow. I am the sun on a ripened grain, and I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of the quiet birds in circling flight. I am the soft starlight at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry, I'm not there, I didn't die. End.
I really love that one. It's
beautiful,
a very,
isn't
very
it?
special poem. It's really gorgeous.
Well,
And it means a lot to a lot of people. And it's, I love that one.
It's a good one. It's a good
It's a
one.
real good one.
I'm going to bring this back to a film I just watched this week with my friend Alison Glazy's Mental
what did
Health
you
Nurse. Okay, so I've been thinking about this film since I watched it in 1995. Not watched it since. And I was like, Elliot, let's watch Powder. It's got, what's your man from The Fly called again?
Oh,
Goldblum,
Jeff
Jeff Goldblum. Sexy Jeff Goldblum in it.
Have you seen his documentary short series on Netflix?
No, I know I'm going to love it though.
The World According to Jeff Goldblum.
Is it brilliant?
He does like mini shorts. Sorry to like totally
that's
derail your
fine.
conversation. But he does one about sneakers. He does one about ice cream. He does one about MX biking. BMX biking. And MX bikes.
God, you're so embarrassing. Are you getting an MX bike this year, Tarquin?
No, darling, I'm getting a Rolls. Yeah, it's really, really good.
Okay, I'm gonna
Everyone
check it
watch it
out.
on Netflix. It's really funny.
This is one of his movies that he did. It's called Powder. Not about drugs. It's about an albino who is very smart. And the whole premise of the movie really stuck with me in 1995. It's about how we are all connected as a human race and how everything connects to everything and we're all one, essentially. And I was like, my God, that's so fucking deep. And it really stuck with me for like 20 years. Then I watched it again. I'm going to give it a 67 out of 10. Because it's so fucking cheesy. But I do recommend watching it because it has got a really good message and it explains some of Einstein's theories really, really simply.
Nice.
So like for people like us who just like need it spelt out in dumb, it's like, it's perfect. It's perfect. So I really enjoyed that and it gave me like a nice warm feeling.
Oh,
Well,
sounds good.
I haven't written any poems because I've been a bit distracted. But George, I don't know, do you have like a play to pitch or something?
Well, yeah, exactly that. I do. I have also not written poetry for a long time. I gave up on my free writing, which I need to take back up. That was really cathartic. For
You were
the-
doing well with that. Thank
Yeah,
you,
for like a
Blondie,
month.
for helping us
Yeah,
with that.
it was
Yeah.
good for a month, and then I stopped, so I need to pick that up. No, on the way here, I came up with a pitch for a play idea. So if anyone's a great writer and needs a cracking idea, I was running 15 minutes late for recording, which stresses me out because I hate being late. I'm always early, you're always late. That's how we roll.
No, I'm always early.
Bullshit. Anyway, Ra was early, I was late, and I was late because there were like 3 people in the queue in front of me at Morrison's buying those
Scratch cards.
scratch cards, and none of them had picked the card number before they got to the thing, so there was a lot of umming and ahhing, and I was just like, come on guys, speed it up. I was being a bit of a dick about it. And we had a chat on WhatsApp as I was on the way here, being like, sorry, I'm late, this has happened. Ra was like, don't be mean to people. I was like, I'm trying not to be, but they're in my way, like usual chat. And then I thought, wouldn't it be interesting to write a play where there are 6 people in a queue at a kiosk, and then there's the woman serving at the kiosk, and they each... Oh, yeah, because you mentioned you were probably having an existential crisis.
Let's go over.
Shall we read the thing?
We're going to
'Cause you'll
go
explain
over.
it better.
Okay, so...
Oh, my God, we can do it like a play. You read
my
you,
God.
and
Okay.
I'll read me.
Okay, you're reading it. Will I read in for Alex?
Yeah, you read
Okay.
in for Alex. Guys, I'm running 15 minutes late. Why does everyone in front of me want those wretched scratch cards? And why can't they decide which numbers they want in the queue? Is it part of the game? I can't even.
This is why nobody... This is why nobody should ever give you a firearm, G.
Ha ha ha! But my Second Amendment.
Sometimes people have thoughts that are fleeting. And when I'm waiting in the queue, anywhere, I'm not thinking about what I'm going to buy in the queue. I'm thinking about what time is and how long of it we've got on this planet. What am I going to do with it? Maybe there's just more people like me that are having an existential crisis in the queue. If that's what you mean. That's probably why they're gambling as well, because what's the point, And maybe everything is connected. Maybe what number you pick actually does mean something. Maybe if you get to the counter, you've got to wait till you get to the counter before you decide, because the winning card will ping at you. There'll be a sign.
I think that's wonderfully romantic, and I do love it, but I am late, and this will not do.
Because I account for existential crises on my journey, I'm always on time.
I do love the idea of a play in which 6 people are in a queue, and each one is having an internalized external crisis, and the woman at the till turns out to be God, giving advice, reprimand, or sentence.
That is where we cut scene, curtains close down. Okay, then we open it up again and we have a newsagent scene, okay? And there's like a few rows, there's like tins of beans, and like you see 6 people in a queue, and like...
And one guy is kicking off. I think that would be the first one to start.
Well, that would be you.
Yeah, just absolutely...
No, he's at the end of the queue. You go at the end of the queue and I'm before you.
Yeah, but I don't think you do it in order. They all pop out at like different shards of what they're thinking about at different times.
See, I think it would open... It's your idea, but I think it would open with the letting agents, with somebody with like a bag of pennies going 1, 2, 3. How many was that, dear? And like that's where it starts, is with a frustrating situation.
That's the first bit, but then the person at the back of the queue looks out to the audience and is like, I'm going to be so late. This is really important. I've got an interview. I'm not going to be able to do the interview unless I have a cigarette. If I don't have a cigarette now, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I can't. And then you get the woman and she's like, 5, 6, 7. And then it cuts to the person in the middle who's like, oh, I really love blue at the moment. Like, I think it's my favorite. Green. And they're the super calm one that just doesn't give a fuck. And then each one keeps
and they're the
turning in
person
and out.
that goes, oh, I can see you're stressed. Do you want to go ahead of me? Go on ahead of me.
Yeah, and they all get into like a bit of a yardie match with each other. But then it turns out that they're all just in purgatory, and the newsagent is like forever.
70 high, 76.
And they're never going to get to the job interview, and she's never going to finish counting the coins, and the queue's never going to move, but the frustration builds and builds and builds.
And why can't they leave the queue?
Because it's purgatory. They've all died.
Yeah, but why can't they leave the queue?
Because they're stuck in purgatory.
Yeah, but like they're in a shop, so why can't they go and browse?
Because the shop is... Am
I
I in purgatory?
It would be a really good insight because I could see the person who's like crying in the queue, you know, or like just looking a little bit sad, and maybe they're like queuing up for a pack of fags and a small bottle of Ray and Nephew's rum, just because they have to
Chloe and
get
I
through
were
the
in
day.
Aldi the other day, and we just went to like the empty till and started putting our stuff on the conveyor belt. And this woman like ran down an aisle screaming and like ran in front of us and was like, "I'm here!" And I was like, "Well, you fine? Like, I can't. This might. I. It was just too much."
I remember once when I was studying health and social care, my first degree that I did at Greenwich University, and we were doing a lesson in aggression, passive aggressiveness, and all of this kind of mental health stuff. To do that, if you're in a queue and go, "Sorry, I was actually ahead of you," that's aggressive. Because it's a queue. You just all have to experience that. And if you
Yeah.
skip a queue, even if you were in front of that person, just fucking let it go. I think that's why I'm zen about queuing.
Well, that's what Chloe and I did. We just went, no, of course, that's fine. But also then I looked at Chloe and I was like, what a bitch.
George, I don't think you can deal with queues.
I'm not very good at it.
I see, I could queue.
But that's white male privilege for you.
Oh, love. Oh, darling. You see, I don't know. Like, the thing is, if I do see a queue, I just won't do it.
I did not get the best falafel in London the other day. Falafel?
Falafel.
Ooh, falafel.
Falafel.
Definitely falafel.
Okay.
Because there was like 10 people in the queue and I was like, I can't experience that right now.
What's the end of the play?
I think they all turn to each other. They all come out of their own headspace and they all turn to each other and start bickering amongst themselves and the curtains just close. You're not loving it. We'll have to workshop it. I don't think we're going to come up with the
We're going to have to
answer
workshop
today.
it, but we need a really good writer to approach us because even though we've given this idea out to the public domain, you're not having it. It's ours, and we're going to keep all of our ideas like the precious
Precious
things.
gems that they are. Oh, merry holidays, guys.
Merry holidays. Merry holidays, and
Merry holidays.
wherever you are,
Wherever you are. This is actually like an important one because people listen all over the world now.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you're celebrating, whatever you're going through, we are sending you all of the biggest love and hugs and support that we can give you.
And like also on Christmas Day or like throughout the December season, pop us an email if you are lonely or you do need support, and we'll do our best to help you out, point you in the right direction.
Yeah, we'll be checking our emails. So even on Christmas Day, if you just say you want like, you know, a chat or a hug or a picture of something silly.
Yeah, and we have gone off social media because, well, I told you in the news. So if you do want to get in touch with us, our email is always available, and that's artiststhatartworking@gmail.com. You can support us via our Patreon, Artists at Work. Oh, wait, what is it?
Artists that are working.
No.
Patreon.com/artists that are working.
Artists at Work. It's just Artists at Work on the Patreon.
Not confusing.
It is confusing, but you know, that's why when you get a dyslexic person to do these things, that's what happens. Our patrons will have gotten their Christmas packs by now because we love them so much and they've been so patient with us. And I just want to say how grateful we are that we're able to pay our producers and to get this podcast made. It is a homemade, very small team. So if you can offer support, that is very much appreciated. And if you can't, you can just listen in for free and tell your friend that's got a lot of money to do it.
And tell a friend because we really are really enjoying watching the podcast grow. It's only been 2 years and it's just lovely seeing more people get involved. So,
and like the thing is, we can't afford
give us a share.
Publishers or anything like that. And one day when we can, that'll be great. But right now we rely on you guys to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend.
Exactly. And just massive shout outs to all of our incredible artist friends, all of the people who appeared on the podcast, all of the people who helped make the podcast. We're just sending so many hugs out at the moment. It's really nice.
Looking forward to next year with you, George.
Yeah, next year's going to be fun.
Isn't it?
But then we all said that about 2021, didn't we?
Fuck off.
No, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. We're going to do lots of painting.
Phoenix is going to be 6.
Oh, and also my last bit of wisdom. I can struggle sometimes at Christmas. I've got a very big family and we all love each other very much, but we can get into little tetchy fights with each other. My plan this year is to take a sketchbook and some pencils, and every time I feel like I'm about to lose my mind, do a little bit of drawing. So that's my plan. If anyone wants to do the same, we can catch up on what we've drawn in January.
Yeah, maybe we'll open up the Instagram again and just kind of start posting and stuff
Yeah,
like
that would
that
be
because
cool.
that is always fun. I love you very much. Thank you for your support this year.
I love you so much. It's been my pleasure.
I really do love you.
I love you.
Like, I mean, I
loads.
can't reach you to hug you. It's a bit awkward.
No, we'd knock over thousands of
Oh my
pounds worth of
God.
equipment.
I am feeling that. I was like, oh, should
That
we
would be a
have
very crunchy, expensive
Shit.
hug.
It's like we are in the studio and like literally everywhere I was thinking about standing, it's like,
Imagine it's like-
shit.
Right, gotta go. Bye.
Oh, already? Mwah. Bye.
Ooh, and make some eggnog. It's delicious.
Eggnog. Or just Bailey's and milk. That was my favourite one. Bailey's,
Yeah,
Tia Marie
Bailey's
and
is
milk.
nice.
That's White Russian, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great on cornflakes.
Yeah. Baby Sham.
Al loves baby shower. We'll make that some this year. That's a good idea.
Should we go make some more eggnog?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Bye.
See you later, guys. Bye.